continues to be.
With every step we take, Kyoto to the Bay, switch steps so casually. We're different and the same, give you another name, switched up the battery.
If you give me a chance, I will take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing with all of your heart you can take it. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. I'm staked down on a mission to find our inner peace, make it everlasting, so nothing is in between. It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we are together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, we owe to the place, so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switched up the battery. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing in all of your heart you shake me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, no, no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. We got through it. Okay, going on.
Hang on.
I'm ready, Jeff. Put the violin away.
I gotta transpose.
Oh, okay.
Off.
Here we go. I'm ready.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in not knowing. No matter if you come, you stay a while. Cause passing through this storm is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned down, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. No matter black or white, or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jews, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of a divine point of view, this door, oh, this door is open. This door right here, this door is open. It's open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Oh, no matter black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you.
Miahuen Omonemem. Neto Reverend Jeffrey Ryan. We here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Cahuilla, Gabrielino Tongva, Kizh, and Luiseno peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly upon this land. We recognize our oneness so that we may decolonize our minds and set each other free from the pain of racism and violence, to live better as God intended, in harmony with nature and with one another. So blessings and good morning, Riverside. It is so good to see all of you gathered here in the sanctuary this morning and all of you gathered there online as well. Good morning to Anita and Frank. Aloha kakahiaka to Wayne and Casey and Coco. Good morning, Mom and Dad and all of our family there in Elk Grove today. And good morning to Vicky and Marty. Great to see all of you joining us online as well as here in the room. Yay, yes, yay. So let's just take a nice deep breath, shall we? And just breathe in for just a moment. And I recognize that there's one power, one presence, one infinite, eternal. This one is spirit made manifest. This one is spirit, the all-knowing, all-seeing, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. It is the one life that is moving through in all, as everything, as all of creation. And so I know that it moves in, through, and as me. And what I know this day and for this day, that this day I call forth peace. I call forth peace around the world. I call forth peace in the Ukraine, and peace in Russia, and peace anywhere there is a conflict happening or occurring around the world. Even if it is a conflict within our own individual hearts, I call for peace right here and now, recognizing that peace is present right in this moment, always and in all ways. And so this day we breathe in peace, and we breathe out peace. And this day we breathe in and we breathe out celebration. Celebration for the newness and the creativity and the moving forward, and the moving forward in a new era where Ketanji Brown Jackson is now a U.S. Supreme Court Justice. We recognize that this is an expression of the one life, an expression of the creativity, an expression of the power and the presence of love made manifest itself. And so we celebrate this day, this remarkable historical achievement. And we know that all of the cases that come before the Supreme Court are met with justice, are met with wisdom, are met with integrity, and are met most of all with love. And so I give thanks for this newness. I give thanks for this creativity. I give thanks for the divine unfoldment of life and love itself. I simply allow it to be, and so it is. Oh, and how grateful I am to be with all of you this day. So Trisha is here. Everybody say hi to Trisha. Yeah.
Yay, Trish.
So Trisha is here. Trisha is organizing our Be the Bunny baskets downstairs. So immediately following service, I'm going to invite you to get some coffee. And for those of you who are also participating in the meeting for the hospitality, go take care of that first, and then come on downstairs. And we are being the bunny for Sylvia's kids, the kids at Sylvia's Serenity Home. There's 14 children that we are preparing Easter baskets for. So come on down. There's lots of grass and eggs and candy and toys to make these wonderful baskets. Last week yesterday they had their little Easter egg hunt. They had their Easter egg hunt a week early so that they can get into all of it. And Sylvia sent Trisha and I pictures. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are so cute. They are so cute. They were so excited. We prepared already we prepared over 140 eggs for them. So they had baskets just full of candy eggs. So they're going to be hyped up on sugar all this week, and then probably all next week, and probably the rest of the month, given everything that's come in so far. And it's been really hard for Trisha and I not to dip into the candy jar, I will say, as it's been coming in, especially, the Reese's peanut butter eggs, just saying. Maybe I had one bag. 4. No, I'm kidding. So it's great to be with everybody here to this day. Let's start off this morning with some music, some prayer, and let's get going here, shall we? Here we go. Feel free to get up and dance and sing.
Now I see the Spirit standing right in front of me.
I see the Spirit standing right in front of me.
I see the Spirit standing right in front of me.
I see the Spirit standing right in front of me.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Praise God.
I
See the Spirit in you.
I see the Spirit standing right beside me.
I see the Spirit standing right beside me.
Praise God, praise God. I see the Spirit in you. I see the Spirit standing right behind me.
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 Praise God, praise God. I see the Spirit in you. I see the Spirit standing to the left of me. I see the Spirit standing to the left of me. Left of me, I see the Spirit standing to the left of me. Praise God, praise God. I see the Spirit in you. I see the Praise God, praise God. I see the Spirit in you. I see the Spirit standing right in front of me. I see the Spirit standing right in front of me. I see the Spirit standing right in front of me. I see the Spirit standing right in front of me. Praise God, praise God. I see the Spirit in you.
Good morning. I am Neil Hayner, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, and the legendary practitioner Francis Drake and I will be available after service for a brief moment of prayer in the prayer room located in the lobby. Please don't leave here this morning with anything on your hearts. We would love to pray with you and absolutely know that prayer works. Now, please allow this music to take you into the silence, followed by this morning's invocation.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show to me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. Every hand I shake, every embrace, every thought I think, yes, Spirit flow through me. Every word I say, every night and day, I want to be an expression of your unfolding love. Every decision through the confusion, flow through me, Mother, Father. I open up to let the Spirit lead the way. I'm not worthy, 'cause I know that as I believe, and so it is.
And so I know in this moment that we simply open up to the flow of Spirit in this moment, knowing that it is a flow of divine and perfect love, of infinite intelligence, perfect order, balance, and wisdom. We step into the stream of consciousness, awareness of the divine presence right here and right now, within each one of us, within this community, within the music, in the camaraderie and friendship, and in the message. I know that Spirit is flowing in and through and as this spiritual community this morning. And it is in and flowing in and through and as each one of us as we show up as that divine presence, as we live that divine presence in spiritual community. I simply know that this morning is unfolding under the divine inspiration of God, of love, of intelligence. And so I know that it is absolutely good. It is absolutely perfect, just that it needs to be. And there is a gift in this morning for each one of us. And we simply open out a way for Spirit's gifts to flow in and through and as us this morning. And so I call it good, I call it complete, and I call it the absolute highest expression of love. And knowing that this is true and complete, I simply say, and so it is.
Thought would never end, trying to make it on faith in a struggle against the wind. I've seen the dark and the broken places, but I know in my soul, no matter how bad it gets, I'll be alright. There's hope in front of me, there's a light I still see, and there's a hand still holding me, even when I don't believe it. I might be down, but I'm not dead. There's better days still up ahead. Even after all I've seen, there's hope in front of me, yeah. There's a place at the end of the storm we finally find, where the hurt and the tears and the pain all fall behind. You open up your eyes and up ahead there's a big sun shining. Right then and there you realize you'll be alright. There's a light I still see, and there's a hand still holding me. Even when I don't believe that I might be down, but I'm not dead. There's better days still on my head. Even after all I've seen, there's hope in front of me. Yeah, yeah. There's a hope still burning. I can feel it rising through the night, and my world's still turning. I can feel your love here by my side. Oh, 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 You're my hope. You're the light I'm still seeing. Your hands are holding me, even when I don't believe it. Oh, I got to believe. I got to believe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I still have hope. You are my hope. Oh.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jabel, Manny, Max. Thank you. And thank you, Neil, for the beautiful invocation as well. So good morning. Good morning. Let's say good morning to some of our folks who have joined us online. Good morning, Denise. Yes, Earl is here. He did make it. I see him. He's smiling and waving at me. So yes, good morning, Denise. Good morning to Amber. Good morning to Lupe Marie and John. Great to have all of you with us this morning as well. So great to see all of you. So let's say our focus statement this morning, shall we? All right. You're a lively bunch today. Kind of hard not to be after that, right? Okay. Good morning, Dr. Naima. So good to see you. All right. So here we go. Let's say it together. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Yes, indeed. So here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide this year, we are working with the theme of living everyday wonder, and we are exploring that theme throughout the year as looking at how we can experience the divine and ways that we experience the divine, ways that we experience wonder in our daily lives, in our daily living. Because where do we experience the divine? Because where is the divine? The divine is everywhere present. And so where can we experience it? We experience it in the here and now, in our daily lives, in every moment with every breath that we take. If we wake up to it and make ourselves aware of it and engage in it, we can experience it more fully and gloriously. Yes? All right. So we are looking at that as the whole theme of the year, but within each month of the year, we are looking at different areas of our lives, because if we are living every day, there's all these different aspects of our lives that we are looking at and exploring. And so this month, the month of April, we are, appropriately enough, we are looking at creativity, our creative lives, our creative endeavors, if you will, that we are looking at our creativity through everyday wonder. And last week we talked about saying yes to your yes, not saying yes to the dress, though that's perfectly acceptable too, right? But saying yes to the yes, saying yes to your expression of spirit, Y-E-S, your expression of spirit, or also your essential self. So we were saying yes to that. And I invited you last week to follow the clues. Follow the curiosity clues. Allow whatever it is that's bubbling up within you, whatever sparks your little interest, even if it's just a tiny one, to spark your interest, and then follow through and just see where that path, follow the clues like breadcrumbs, right? Follow the path to see where it might lead you. And so living a more curious life leads to leading a more full life, a more creative life, is what we were talking about last week. Do you remember any of this? So how was your week this week? Full, blessed, amazingly awesome. Right on. I like to hear that. Amazingly awesome, right? So just simply following a little bit of curiosity opens whole new doors and whole new pathways. Now, at any point this week, did you experience a little fear? Or a little like, ooh, oh yes. I was like, ooh, this is curious, and ooh, this is creative, and ooh, I'm feeling a little flutter. Right? So let's talk about the fear. Let's just dive right into there. Fear is a basic instinct, and it is absolutely necessary because, when we're running away from saber-toothed tigers, it's absolutely necessary that we feel a little fear, right? Fear for our lives, fear, etc. So fear itself is a very basic instinct. If you pass your hand over a little petri dish with a little baby tadpole in the petri dish and the shadow goes over the tadpole goes, ooh, right? Because there's this fear of the unknown. There is this instinct of, ooh, unknown, possible threat, I should be concerned. That kind of fear is healthy. It's absolutely healthy to have that kind of fear. And we have developed it because it allows us to be mindful of threats. The fear that's not productive is when we become scared of absolutely everything, including our own shadow, right? And really, fear, we all experience it, yes? Yeah. It's so instinctual that all of life, all of creation, even trees will try and shy away from, even though they really can't move that much, there is a reaction to a perceived threat. So fear is this basic underlying thing that we all have. And because we all have it, guess what? Fear is boring. Fear is absolutely boring. There is nothing unique about fear. There is absolutely nothing unique about it. Nothing. You could buy fear at any store that you go into. It's just like chewing gum, right? You can go into Walmart, you could go into Costco, you could go into the grocery store, you can go into your neighborhood convenience store. You can go into Staples, for goodness sake. Right? And you can buy fear. Fear is everywhere present. And it is mass-produced. It's mass-produced. Everywhere present, you can buy it anywhere you want. It's super generic. So if fear is super generic and you don't think it is, you think, oh no, my fear is more important. My fear is different. My fear is different than your fear. I don't know that fear is really a general thing. I don't know that I'm buying that, Jeffrey. So then let's give you some examples from Big Magic. So here's some examples of fear. See if you resonate with any of these or any of these like ring a bell or anything. You're afraid you have no talent. You're afraid you'll be rejected or criticized or ridiculed or misunderstood or worst of all, ignored. You're afraid there's no market for your creativity and therefore there's no point in pursuing your creative pursuits. You're afraid somebody else already had the idea and already did it better. Heck, you're afraid that everybody else already did it better. You're afraid somebody's going to steal your idea, so it's safer to keep them hidden forever in the dark. You're afraid that you won't be taken seriously. You're afraid your work, whatever your work is not important enough to change anybody's lives. You're afraid your dreams, your aspirations, your hopes are embarrassing. You're afraid that someday you're going to look back on your creative endeavors of your life and you're going to look back and say, oh, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of effort. That was a waste of money. You're afraid that you don't have the right kind of discipline or the right kind of talent. You're afraid that you don't have the right kind of workspace or financial freedom or enough hours or empty hours in which to focus on invention and exploration. You're afraid you don't have the right kind of training or degree. You're afraid of being exposed as a hack or a fool or a dilettante or a narcissist. You're afraid of upsetting your family with what you may reveal. You're afraid of what your peers and coworkers will say if you express your personal truth out loud. You're afraid of unleashing your innermost demons, and you really don't want to encounter your innermost demons. You're afraid your best work is behind you. You're afraid you never had any best work to begin with. You're afraid you neglected your creativity for so long that you will never, ever get it back. You're afraid that you're too old to start. You're afraid you're too young to start. You're afraid because something went well in the past in your life, and so obviously nothing could ever go well now or in the future. Or you're afraid that because nothing has ever gone well, why bother even trying? You're afraid of being a one-hit wonder. You're afraid of being a no-hit wonder, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Any of those resonate? Fear of not enough, fear of not having enough. I mean, you can just keep going. The list keeps going. You see, it's not unique. It's downright boring, isn't it? Kind of got boring for me reading that to you. Sure, it kind of got boring for you listening to it too, right? Fear is boring. Fear is just flat out boring. But we have this unique expression of spirit that is being called forth from within us, and it's unique. It's not mass-produced the way fear is mass-produced. It's absolutely unique. So you have a unique perspective. You have a unique expression of spirit. You have a unique look upon the world. You have a unique talent or gift to share with the world. So why would you want to live your life from the place of boring, mundane, humdrum fear? Why not live out loud? Why not live from that place of creativity, that place of joy, that place of uniqueness, and share that? And that is what we started talking about last week, and we continue that here now. So if we live a creative life, creativity in and of itself is wonderful and exciting and curious. And as I asked you a little while ago, was there a little trepidation, a little flutter in your heart as you were being a little more creative this week? And several of you said yes. And you know what? That's perfectly normal. You know why that is because fear and curiosity or fear and creativity kind of go hand in hand. Creativity can barely take one step forward without fear, marching right alongside of it. You know why that is? Because creativity sparks, or by its inherent nature, creativity is somewhat uncertain. Ooh. There's an unplanned outcome, perhaps. And when we're being creative, it's like, there's multiple possibilities. And if there's multiple possibilities with creativity, wow, then multiple things could happen, or who knows what could happen. And fear, danger, right? Danger, Will Robinson, right? It's like all of a sudden there's like, then the fear gets triggered, and the fear is like, because the fear doesn't like uncertainty. The fear does not care for vulnerability. The fear wants to keep everybody safe, everybody in their right and perfect place, and, give me my 6 feet of space around me, and we'll be present here, and let me stay here in this. The problem is that when we get stuck in fear, when we allow fear to run our lives rather than spirit or rather than creativity, when we let fear run our lives, fear then shuts down our creativity, because fear and creativity share many of the same organs. When you think about it, when you get excited with curiosity and creativity, what happens? Your heart might start beating a little bit faster. Your breathing changes. There's more energy flowing in your body. What happens when you experience fear? Your heart starts beating a little bit faster. Your breathing changes. There might be a little bit more energy in your body. This is why thrill rides like at Knott's Berry Farm or Magic Mountain are super exciting, right? Because there's that, there's the thrill of it that's somewhat scary and at the same time really exhilarating. And so when we try to cancel our fear, when we try to control our fear, or when we try to kill our fear, frequently what we then do is we stifle our creativity. We stifle and kill our own creativity, because it's the same feelings that we're then shutting off. And so all of a sudden we find ourselves experiencing these boring little humdrum, mundane lives run by fear. You want to live like that? No. I don't want to live like that. Absolutely not. And fear, we know, beloveds, is also related to faith, isn't it? Fear and faith also go together, just the way curiosity and creativity go with fear, and they also go with faith. Because what really is fear? Fear is really misplaced faith. It's the belief that we know that it's absolutely going to go wrong. Or that we believe in the worry, we believe in the doubt. And so fear continues to perpetuate itself. And what we know is that if our minds are creative, if we are creative beings, then that which we focus on expands. That which we focus on continues to demonstrate itself, does it not? So we have the opportunity to shift our perspective and to shift from fear to faith, to shift from fear to creativity. Now, we don't necessarily want to get rid of the fear because, as we mentioned, fear can be very helpful. So what we need to do when we're working this creative life, when we're living a more creative life, what we need to do, the opportunity there is to learn to cooperate with it. Learn to navigate it, learn to experience it in a different way, develop a different relationship with it. Because when we're not fighting fear, fear stops fighting. When we relax, fear relaxes. As Ernest Holmes says, what we resist persists. So if we continue to resist the fear, it continues to persist. And if we relax and take a breath, it's like, okay, let me establish a different relationship with fear. Let me establish a different relationship and see where that leads. Elizabeth Gilbert in the book Big Magic shares with us in the book there that of how she experiences fear and how she deals with it. She pretends she's going on a road trip. She and creativity are going on a road trip. She's in the driver's seat. Creativity is in the passenger seat. Fear is in the back seat. Because fear is going to come along anyway. So fear is going to be present anyway. But here's the deal. Only she and creativity get to make any of the decisions. Fear can voice itself. Fear can be present there. But fear doesn't get to make any decisions. It doesn't get to turn the knob on the radio. Doesn't get to choose the temperature control. And certainly doesn't get to drive. Right? It could just be the back seat. Okay, we heard your concern, right? But the decision is happening in the front seat with her, when her focus and creativity and its inspiration, and then moving forward that way. Isn't that a much better way of dealing with fear? Okay, yeah, I can see that. Gotcha. So when we get into our creative juices and our creative juices start flowing and, fear starts to rise, frequently, a couple of the fears that really start to rise there are judgment, right? Oh, am I good enough? Is this good enough? Do I have the skill set? All those judgment pieces start to arise, right? And then perfectionism starts to arise. Ooh, it's got to be perfect. It has to be a certain way. If it's not a certain way, then it's not, we just can't have it go. I just can't, and so we get paralyzed in the perfectionism, or we get paralyzed in the judgment that it's not good enough. Sound familiar? How many of you say, I can't draw, right? I can't paint a picture. I can't drum. I can't do this. And then we also get into comparisons too, right? Well, I can drum a little bit, but I can't drum like Manny, so why would I ever bother to drum? Right? I can paint and draw a little bit, but I can't paint and draw the way Ray does, so why even bother to start? Good grief. And then he drums too. And then he's a graphic artist. Nothing. Okay, I'm just going to go over here and sit in my corner and just live my quiet little life because I could never be Ray. But guess what? Ray can never be me. I have my own gifts and talents, my own ways of doing things. I can't be Jeff, but I can be Jeff. Right? And there's this beautiful book that I absolutely love, and it's by Peter H. Reynolds, and it's a children's book, and it's called Ish. And I know that you've been wondering because you've seen the thing up there for this whole time. It's like, what's Ish? What's he talking about? Why is it titled Ish today? Ish. And we're not talking about the Minnesotan Ish, okay? In Minnesota-ish, Minnesota, hear it? In Minnesota, Ish is like ick, ew, right? It's Ish. But we're not talking about that Ish today. We're talking about a different Ish. And this book is called Ish. And this book, little Ramon, this young boy, loves to draw. And so he draws anywhere, anything, anytime, always. He's got his little pens out, his markers out, and he's just drawing anything everywhere all the time. And then one day, his older brother comes up and goes, what is that? And laughs at him and like, what is that? And all of a sudden, little Ramon, he just kind of withdraws into himself and he looks at his paper because he was drawing this picture of a vase with flowers. And he looks at his paper and it's like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good. And he was, my brother said, what's that? And so he crumples the paper and he just throws it across the room. And for the next couple of months, he keeps trying to draw. And every time he tries to draw, it's like, no, it's not good enough. And he crumples it and he throws it and he crumples it and he throws it. And then finally one day he just gets tired and he gives up drawing and he slams his pencil down. That's it. I'm done. I'm not drawing anymore. And he crumples his last piece of paper and throws it. And his little sister grabs the piece of paper. She asks him, what's going on? He's like, I'm done drawing. And she's like, really? And she grabs the piece of paper and she runs to her room. And he's like, it's no good. And he chases after her, goes up to the room, and she opens the door. And there on her walls are all of his crumpled pieces of paper. And she goes, this one here, this one's my favorite. That's the one with the vase. This one here, this one's my favorite. He's like, yeah, it was supposed to be a vase and flowers. And she goes, well, it's vase-ish. And this one is pizza-ish. And then all of a sudden something lights up in him. And this one's flower-ish, and this one's blue-ish, and this one is this-ish, and that-ish, and all of a sudden it just starts. And then he realizes that, wow, not only can he ish with art, but he can ish with words. And so he can ish and create it. Well, it's a poem-ish, it's a song-ish, and it's his own unique expression, and he's finding his expression and his love of it again. And so it's an ish. Everything becomes an ish because it doesn't have to be perfect because it already is perfect. He's not doing it for a performance. He's not performing for somebody else, because when we do a performance, when we are performing for somebody else, or when we're performing, it is always for somebody else. If I'm performing, I'm doing it for you, and you may receive it. You may judge it. You may think whatever you want to think about it if I'm performing. And then if you give me feedback, I might go, ooh, yay, it landed. It was perfect. It was beautiful. And be like, oh, God, I missed the mark. And just that one person, that one critique, that's enough, right? Doesn't matter that everybody else said good things. That one person, that gets there, right? Just like Ramon's brother. But when we are in our full expression of self, when we are expressing, when we are in full expression of self, that expression is for yourself. That expression is of yourself. And so when we are expressing rather than performing, you have what happened here a little while ago. They were not performing that last song. And I think you can tell the difference. That was an expression of spirit through and as Jeff and through and as the band. They weren't performing. That was an expression of spirit. That is an expression of gift. That is expression of love. That is expression of life. It's an expression from within. And so it doesn't matter whether you all enjoyed it or not. I know that right where they are within them, it doesn't matter because Spirit sang through them. Spirit made music through them. They simply got out of the way and allowed Spirit to express. So what you think of them? None of their business, none of mine either. And you hear that phrase a lot. What you think of me is none of my business. Because it's true. If I'm expressing, then I'm being my full, whole self. Then I am expressing myself with a capital S. I'm expressing love with a capital S. I'm expressing light. I'm expressing that unique, individualized expression of life and love itself. When I'm expressing that, when you are expressing that, nothing else matters. Fear falls away. There is no fear when you are expressing the divine, when you are expressing your gift. There's nothing to worry about. There is no fear. And that, beloveds, is faith. Because what are they trusting? What am I trusting? What are you trusting? You're trusting Spirit within you. Spirit already knows the way. Spirit already makes the way clear. Spirit goes before you and makes the crooked places straight. Spirit knows. Spirit does. It's the Spirit within that does the work. Not this. Not you. It's the Spirit within. So when we get to that point where we are wanting to express, we're wanting to experience, we're wanting to create, ish is good enough. Ish is absolutely perfect. It's perfect-ish. It's perfect-ish. So this day, beloved, your homework, your tool for transformation is to live the ish. And don't squish the ish. Live the ish. Ish. Ish, 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 ish. When we live the ish, we let Spirit run our lives. We let go, we surrender, we allow. And we allow for the creative spirit within, that creative expression within, to live more fully, more freely. And when we live more fully, more freely, we live our more authentic selves. We live our more vulnerable selves. We live our more creative selves. And we live bravely, because it doesn't mean that there's not some scary things. Bravery is living the courage. It is having the courage to do it anyway, to live anyway. If you already know you're whole, perfect, and complete, the Spirit as you is whole, perfect, and complete, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So ish. Ish, 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 ish. You gonna ish? I'm gonna ish. Let's hear it. I'm gonna ish. I ish perfectly. I live perfect-ish. I love this ish. Isn't it awesome? Yes. All right. So I invite our practitioners to go ahead and stand ish, and our core council members to join them in standing ish as our band gets ready ish. And so it is ish, and so it ish. guess there's balancing going on here. This is cool. Balancing-ish. All right, so let's just come together in consciousness. I recognize here and now that there is just this one life that is expressing itself fully, wholly, and completely, and absolutely perfectly, just as it is. It brought forth all of life and all of creation. It is love intelligence. It is the one word, love. It is the one idea, love, that brought forth all of life, all of creation. And so I know that this one is love itself. I know that this one is manifest in through it as its beloved creation, which is also love. And so I know that I am here to be the power and the presence of love made manifest. And I know that I show up uniquely as I am to be the fullest expression of spirit, of love, of life itself. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation, of everyone gathered here this day, that each one is a divine emanation, impartation, manifestation, and expression of this one life. Each one is a unique, with unique perspectives, unique experiences, unique aspirations, unique dreams. And I know that these unique ideas express themselves and birth themselves through and as these beloveds gathered here this day. They birth themselves through consciousness, through the sacred yes, to their highest, greatest, unique expressions of spirit, individualized as each one. And in this collective yes, I recognize that love moves forth from this place, moves forth from this room, moves forth from this time and this space, and it encompasses the globe, and it spreads out into the universe, that where love is present, peace is also present. Where love is present, life is present. Where love is present, abundance is present. Where love is present, joy, harmony, bliss are present. And I recognize that they are present everywhere, now, always, and forevermore. And so I easily and effortlessly give thanks for this expression of life, this expression of love, for our greatest ishness, recognizing that spirit is perfect and we are the perfect emanation of spirit itself. And so the way we express spirit is absolutely perfect to each one of us. There is no judgment, there is no shame, there is no blame, there is no comparison, there is no and A and B. There just is the totality. The one, unity, expressing itself in multiplicity, beautifully and perfectly, just as each one is. And so we say yes, not just yes-ish, but we say yes to life. We say yes to the perfection. We say yes to the love. And I release this word, letting it be, and so it is.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and let it go. Let the Spirit run my life-ish and my heart open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. no more strife. With my faith I see my light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and let it go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, come on, release and let it go. Let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With the faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit, only here for God, only here for God.
Expression. Would you agree?
Ish.
Yes, ish. All right, so I invite our beloveds who are in service to go ahead and come on forward this morning. And as they do, go ahead and come on forward. So collecting on behalf of the congregation this morning are Laura Lopez and Lori Bouzier. I was like, I know it. It was like Laura and Lori. I was like, but all right, Laura Lopez and Lori Bouzier. And then receiving on behalf of the congregation this morning is Francis Drake. So I invite you to take out that which you're choosing to contribute this morning and place it over your heart space. The easiest way to contribute is via text to give. Simply text 951-419-5858 and type in the amount you're choosing to contribute and hit send. It's just that easy. It's just like texting a friend, because that is exactly what you're doing, is texting a friend. You can also go to our website and at riversidecsl.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, you will see the word contribute. You can contribute there, or if you're here in the sanctuary and would like to contribute as the baskets come around, that's great too. So hold that which you're choosing to contribute over your heart space, and let's say this affirmation together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Well, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the love, for the love. I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the love, for the love. And I'm grateful for the bounty that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the bounty, for the bounty. I'm grateful for the bounty that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the bounty, for the bounty. I'm grateful for the blessing that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessing, for the blessing. I'm grateful for the blessings that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful for the blessings, for the blessings. Oh, I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the love, for the love. I'm grateful for the love that you rain down on me. Oh, I'm grateful Yeah, I'm grateful for the blessing that you rain down on me. I'm grateful for the blessing, for the blessing.
All right, so just a few announcements before we head out onto the patio for coffee and snackies. Snackies, yes, snackies. The first thing to tell you about is today is Be the Bunny. So right after you go get your coffee and your snacks, and again, for those of you that are participating in the meeting that is happening, after all that happens, then come downstairs. Trisha's going to be downstairs, and we are going to be loading all of the Easter baskets. We have 14 Easter baskets to load up, and we would love for you to help be the bunny. There's tons of candy. You might even decide to take a jelly bean tax. That's fine. But there's tons of candy and things to stuff the baskets to be the bunny. So please get coffee, etc., and then come on downstairs. Trisha will be down there in just a few minutes getting that ready for us to participate in. Then the next thing we have is the, for those of you who have said yes to being part of the hospitality, there is a hospitality meeting immediately following service in the kitchen. So Francis will be there, and James will be there as well. So we invite you to go and check that out to get updates on that. Then this coming Wednesday, we have our online prayer vigil for the Ukraine. This is being led by Jeannie Kataoka and Ed Ryan and Allison Berry. They have been preparing this prayer vigil. So this is prayer vigil online on Wednesday the 13th at 7 p.m. And so we invite you to join us there. You can click on the website. There is a square there that you can just click on, and that'll take you straight to the vigil on Wednesday the 13th at 7 p.m. Spirit groups are starting back up, and so spirit groups signups begin today. So you can go on the website, riversidecsl.org/spirit groups, and you can see all of the different spirit groups that we are offering, and here they are. We have Nourish Your Inner Garden that will be meeting on Sunday afternoons. We have Green Faith on Tuesday afternoons, men's group Green Faith on Tuesday evenings, men's group on Wednesday evenings, the Pride Spirit group on Thursday evenings, Sacred Grace Women's Spirit group on Friday evenings, and then we have Raven's Call on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., and they meet on the first and third Saturdays, and their next meeting is this coming Saturday. So you can find them online on riversidecsl.org as well. Then our community picnic is coming up on the 29th. There are flyers out on the welcome table. You can grab the flyer, fill out the form, and then you can leave it there so that when Frank comes back next week, he can begin gathering that to find out who all is interested in participating and who's coming. So make sure you grab that flyer. And then Spirit of Art. Yay! The tickets are on sale for Spirit of Art. You can go to our website, riversidecsl.org, and you can purchase tickets there. Tickets are $20 each. We are going to be needing volunteers for this event too, all kinds of volunteers to help with the hors d'oeuvres and wine and helping with the auction itself. So we're going to, and parking and all kinds of stuff. So there'll be more information coming out about that, but super excited about this. We have a whole bunch of local artists already on board, and it's not too late for you if you are an artist, and I know there's many in this room, if you are an artist, to contribute your artwork to this wonderful fun and fundraiser event for Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. So be sure and check that out. Oh yes, artist-ishes are also welcome, yes. Artist-ish are also welcome, all right? And then this week is the last week for the ICUC food drive, and so if you want to bring in any canned goods or non-perishable goods through the 15th, we invite you to do that. So, all right, that's it. Yes, Michelle? All right, perfect. All right, so I invite you to stand if you're able. And here is our affirmation for this week. I'll say it first, and then you can say it after me, and we'll say it nice and loudly. I express myself freely.
I express myself freely.
Let's try it again. I express myself freely.
I express myself freely.
Myself, true biz, free, express. All right. Learning, practicing, it's fun. Told you last week we were learning it, practicing it, so there you go. All right, so repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward. Because love lives here. Happy Sunday. Let's sing it.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, sharing, receiving, and I'm moving forward because love lives here. Love lives here.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, I share it, receive it, and I'm moving forward because love lives here. Oh, love lives here. Love lives here. Love lives here. Yeah. Love lives here. All right. Have a great Sunday, you guys. We love you. I think there's avocados and I love them. The world gets you down and you're feeling lonely. You can't find the truth or find your center. There are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other. The love that you see will make you stronger. We bring it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. You know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. The soul sets free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Yeah, love
lives here.
Yeah, love
Love lives here.
love
Love lives here.
Yeah, love
Love lives
love.